is unpredictable and rebellious by its very nature. Its definition is difficult to pin down and extremely hard to grasp.
For me, free running is not a sport. It's very creative.
It's a movement, an art form, and a way of life.
Parkour itself is an art. It's like a discipline, and my body is like my tool, and the environment is my canvas, and I'm kind of painting my picture.
It's also a competitive, disciplined, and demanding sport. To take part, there's only two things you need: a good pair of shoes and a free mind.
It's unlimited, there's no equipment. You don't need any money. You're born ready, your tools, you take it with you everywhere.
Parkour and freerunning involve running, jumping, and climbing over and through any terrain, pushing the human body to its limit. This way of life became an instant internet sensation and retains a remarkable community around the globe.
It's really cool where this sport has brought all of us and the friendship that we've built, and everybody wants everyone to do well, You know, I can win without someone else having to fall.
Tricky, like the flips they are doing, is the terminology used in parkour and freerunning.
Woo! Screwdriver, dive roll. Big one-handed 360.
But don't worry, help is at hand. Over the next half hour, you're gonna leap with us into a gravity-defying, head-spinning world. This is ABC of Parkour. We'll take you on an acrobatic adventure through its origins, icons, and philosophy. And by the time we're done, you'll be exploring your hometown on a whole new level. Along the way, we've created special flashcards with freerunning and parkour terminology. Take, for example, the phrase
PK line. A method of judging a set of obstacles and forming a plan to overcome them effectively.
As a freerunner, we always go through the space and look at the world as a giant playground. But when you have your select things, your things that you really enjoy doing, your eye leads towards that sort of thing. Or you have friends who will, in this case, the other guys stopped and said, look, there's a big front flip, just a classic, my style of thing to do.
Well, it sure looks like a lot of fun, and these would probably be important skills to have during the zombie apocalypse. Well, what are parkour and freerunning? Are they one and the same? Is one a sport and the other an art? Or is it all just a tad bit more philosophical? Well, let's jump back to square one and start with the basics. Both disciplines describe the practice of moving logically and creatively through a predominantly urban setting. This involves physically overcoming barriers on any given route. So, is there a difference between parkour and freerunning? Parkour is the most efficient way from point A to point B, which means no flips or acrobatics. The word comes from the French parcours, which literally means the way through.
Uma arte que você se movimenta e traça todos os seus obstáculos da forma mais rápida e eficiente possível, né?
Freerunning is a creative and self-expressive evolution of parkour. Where the practical, efficient parkour comes with a rule book, freerunning plays fast and loose with the rules and breaks free from those restraints. That still doesn't stop bystanders from arguing over which is which or which is better. Either way, the community simply goes with the flow, doesn't care about labels. These guys and girls only want to train together and share their skills and experiences with each other.
It's not all about getting from point A to point B. My parkour style, nobody's chasing me. I'm not late. I don't need to be fast. I don't need to be efficient. I'm efficient in what I want to achieve. My goal is not a destination. My goal is to create art.
Freerunning and parkour are mostly known as movements practiced in the concrete jungle of the city, but their roots go back to a beautiful small island in the 20th century. In 1902, a volcanic eruption devastated a small town on the Caribbean island of Martinique. While coordinating the evacuation, French naval officer Georges Herbert witnessed that the indigenous people overcame the obstacles in their path with grace and creativity. Impressed and inspired by their physical skills, Herbert later researched and formulated a training discipline he called méthode naturelle, the natural method. Herbert Herbert's ideas soon became the basis for all French military training, and by the 1950s had resulted in the first organized Parcours du combattant, which translates as obstacle course. In the 70s, Raymond Bell, a fireman and veteran of the French Special Forces, introduced the discipline of Parcours du combattant and the teachings of Herbert to his young son David and his friends. It wasn't long before David Bell and company formed a group of dresseurs.
Dresseur, a practitioner of parkour.
The group called themselves the Yamakasi and inspired legendary filmmaker Luc Besson to make a film about them. Yamakasi, les samouraïs du temps moderne, brought parkour to the big screen, and the scene exploded in France. In the late 90s, parkour was on the move. Founding Yamakasi member Sébastien Foucault left the group and hopped over to the UK, where he further developed the movement into a more personal, individual pursuit.
You reconnected yourself, can say it like this, with your environment. Well, your playground is a city. You see the city differently now.
Free running was born.
To begin with, I was breakdancing when I was in school, and then I saw a documentary just included some guys from France that had come over to Britain and done this sport called parkour, and they translated it as free running. And to me, it just blew my mind. Part of my decision to commit to free running was it was a lot more freedom, and it was less competitive. Even though we have competitions, it feels a lot more sense of like just a joining of friends.
By the 2000s, free running was on everybody's mind. Its infectious energy channeled into movie plots and spread across the internet, conquering the rest of the world.
What parkour did for me was it allowed me to just go off and express myself and not have any influences. I didn't have to impress a coach. I didn't have to be a part of a team. I could just move for myself.
In 2007, RedBull Art of Motion was launched in Vienna, Austria. It immediately became one of the world's biggest free-running competitions. Aware that contests weren't and still aren't always well received within the scene, organizers managed to tread the fine line of credibility and competitiveness while the participants brought that unique spirit to the event.
Some people are here to compete, some people are here to express themselves, some people are here to just surround themselves with other parkour athletes and gain that experience, and that's what I really like to do.
Soon, indoor gyms and academies for parkour and freerunning were springing up everywhere, and organizations were founded to preserve and promote the disciplines, including Parkour Generations, World Freerunning Parkour Federation, and American Parkour. In 2016, the parkour scene gained full and formal recognition as an official sport in the UK. Despite clear divides between the disciplines, parkour's rejection of a competitive element and freerunning's penchant for flips and tricks, scenes are starting to fuse together again, forming a community that's stronger than ever before. Whether you call yourself a freerunner or a dresseur, the process of taking those first steps, developing moves, and landing advanced maneuvers is pretty much the same. Both parkour and freerunning get you to think differently about your surroundings, to treat the world like a giant playground. It's fun to find new ways to traverse your environment, or simply imagine being chased by ninja assassins. It might all look technical and tricky at first, but the good news is that the 7 basic techniques really are basic. A good sense of balance is crucial. You'll often be walking or jumping onto objects with small surface areas, like rails and wall edges. The key is not to focus on where you are, but where you're going. Basic tip number 2, the running bit. Parkour and freerunning both require explosive sprinting as well as endurance running. Yes, getting from one place to another demands various movements, but in between all of that, you're actually running. Really, just straight up running. To overcome height differences and get across gaps, you gotta know how to jump. So-called precision jumps are broad jumps in which you land upright with minimal impact, control, and balance.
The only thing you focus on is the jump, which is a really unique feeling, which gives a lot of rest and peace.
Nailing those precision jumps will allow you to land on small areas, such as ledges and platforms. What goes up must come down. A drop is an active jump from a higher to lower level. For beginners, the golden rule is never drop higher than your own size. In executing any drop to perfection, mastering the landing is vital. By landing correctly, athletes are able to move and reach for the next obstacle instead of having to reach for the band-aid. Depending on the height, distance, surface, or your previous move, you can either execute a 2-foot landing or a roll. Rolling after landing spreads out the force of the impact across more parts of your body, so it's not just those legs taking the strain. As you're running, you're going to encounter obstacles that are too high to jump over. That's when you're going to have to use a vault. Vaulting is a way to pass a hurdle using your hands to support your body as you clear it. Stairs are so 80s. Sometimes it just makes more sense to use the direct route to get to your destination. That's where climbing comes in handy. A general parkour rule of thumb: don't climb higher than you can jump down. Top tip. And always try to have 3 points of your body secure as you climb. The most used technique, besides the basic ladder-style climbing, is the wall run. Wall runs allow you to climb up a really high wall really fast. What's not to like? To successfully nail this one, you have to run, jump, climb, and pull yourself up in one fluid motion. Not easy, but worth the work. The last basic technique is really simple: swinging. You'll often see dresseurs use swings to pass through an obstacle, either with a basic underbar swing or by executing a lache.
Lache. A technique to swing from one object to another.
And that's it for the basics. You can easily combine those with an arsenal of tricks, twists, flips, and rotations by following one simple piece of advice.
So, in general, in free running, in every trick you got like 3 parts. That's the takeoff. Then you have your actual rotation or twists in the air. And then, of course, you need your landing. Train your body to be strong enough to take the impact, then you're good to go.
Parkour and free running is interesting in the way that we train. Like, a lot of people come up and they're like, what do you do? Do you just go out for a run and jump over walls? And it's much more of a broken down process where we go out and we train certain skills.
But it's your background, lifestyle, and influences that will define and shape your individual style.
I come from a martial arts background, so my martial arts tricking comes out in my style. Somebody else is a breakdancer, maybe a gymnastic, so everyone's completely different. So you can't say the way this guy moves is right and the way this guy moves is wrong.
Come rain or shine, dresseurs and freerunners can be found improving their craft and sharpening their skills. But when those surfaces get slippery, or you just want to try something new, incredible indoor gyms like the Tempest Freerunning Academy in LA have everything a freerunner can dream of.
The academy started because we wanted a place to train. It's probably a lot of freerunners' favorite place in the entire world.
Seeing a place like this is just incredible. It's every time I walk in here, I can't believe it.
I always love coming back here just because it's like the perfect playground for people like us. There's just so many opportunities to just try anything. We can just look at any corner and there's a million things we can pick to train or just try something, and it's a nice, safe environment. We can pull big, soft cushions in to help, build up our confidence, and you guys can get together and just really experiment with stuff that you're not comfortable with.
We tried some monkey gainers.
Monkey gainer. Using both hands to support the body over an obstacle before executing a backflip.
They're really scary moves, so it was fun to practice those into the foam pit.
It's a really awesome, fun, positive environment to be a part of, and yeah, I'm just honored that I could, take part in building the gym and, being a part of the team.
Not only is Lucy a member of the world-renowned Tempest Freerunning Academy, she also happens to be a champion gymnast, all-conference soccer player, Hollywood stuntwoman, and one of the best freerunners in the world. No biggie.
She's amazingly talented, amazingly skilled. She's disciplined, she works hard, she's fit. She has some tricks nobody else does.
So the way I got into stunts, I was a national champion gymnast in college, and so one of my teammates convinced me to come out to LA to try stunts. I was working on a movie called The Changeling, and Paul Darnell and Rich King were doing this crazy roof gaps and all this crazy stuff on the rooftops, and I'm like, what is this stuff? It looks amazing. And so I fell in love with free running and have been doing it literally every single day since.
She is the personification of Tempest. To be honest, she's the face of female free running. She's the bomb. She's steel.
Being a woman and self-conscious and body image issues, all that stuff, you know, free running has given me the confidence to accept myself for who I truly am. I owe everything that I have to free running.
Training for parkour and free running is only 50% body work. The other 50% is mental strength. If your mind's not in it, then you're never gonna stick your next landing.
Stick. A controlled landing resulting in a dead stop.
I think parkour free running is a mental training. You train your fears.
I think if you're not scared of a big jump, it's gonna get you messed up. So you have to have some kind of be some kind of scared.
People say, yeah, you're crazy, you don't know any fear. Well, I know fear, I know how to handle it.
Part of what we do is learning to trust yourself and your own abilities. So you'll know that even though you're scared when you come to a jump, you've trained long enough, you know yourself enough that you know that you can do it. So although you're scared, you just got to push through it and trust yourself in the end.
And by pushing the limits day after day, athletes gradually step up to the biggest free running stages to show the world what they're made of. Though many prestigious competitions, such as the Air Whip Challenge, were established over the years, RedBull Art of Motion remains the ultimate prize.
Art of Motion is probably the single most important event in parkour and free running. Whether you are considered a professional free runner or aspiring to be one, Art of Motion is it.
I think the RedBull Art of Motion is a very great opportunity because it brings all the different people together, and every time I go home, I have at least 20 different ideas I want to train because I speak to the people, I see different people move.
Having entrenched itself into the fabric of free running, RedBull Art of Motion found a permanent symbolic home on the island of Santorini in Greece in 2012. This festival of free running takes place atop and between the iconic white roofs and terraces of Ia.
So this track's like really special because it's not like a track that was built for parkour. It's just using the architecture that's here in Santorini. It's just really unique.
The competition format is straightforward enough. 3 heats of 6 athletes, with the 2 best scores from each heat advancing through the finals. Each athlete is allowed 90 seconds to complete their run, and the scores range from 0 to 500.
The older generation inspires me definitely, because when the people back then started training, they didn't really know where good spots were.
To find an icon of that older generation, we need look no further than Liverpool, UK, home of Ryan Doyle. The first ever winner of the RedBull Art of Motion, Ryan is also one of the founding athletes of the World Freerunning and Parkour Federation.
I'm a first generation parkour athlete, which means I've come from a different discipline. I was a martial artist first before I got into parkour.
With the experience and knowledge of what it takes to forge new paths in freerunning, Ryan has made it his mission to inspire youngsters and provide a launchpad for the sport's next passionate generation.
When I teach, I encourage them to be unique, encourage them to be themselves. Don't copy me, learn from my mistakes, but don't learn my style. Put your own input into it and be unique, and that's kind of how it's always going to progress.
After all, it was Ryan who brought the RedBull Art of Motion to magical Santorini in the first place.
Well, 2010, Mike did the first video here, and the video was, oh my god, get on this place. Hey guys, look what I found in the middle of the Mediterranean. It's an island full of what we need.
We're pretty inspired to take part too, but how do you actually get in?
We have the 6 finalists from last year's Art of Motion who get auto entry,
as well as 6 athletes who qualified from video submissions.
and finally there's the on-site qualifiers where people get to fly in to Greece 2 days before the main event and get to compete.
I'm here at the selection jam. I believe there's 105 people competing right now. 20 of them are moving on to the on-site qualifier. How did you like the format?
I actually really enjoy this like open jam format. I think it's new and something different. Like, not often do you get to just go and be like, wow, with all your friends.
Exactly,
oh
exactly.
And the lucky top 5 get to move on to the finals.
So there's 4 categories that we're judging. There's execution, creativity, difficulty, and flow.
Flow. A state of mind which enables consistent movements from one maneuver to another.
When you're in the moment, all you're thinking about is kind of making sure everything's going right. You're processing everything, every single little step. When you finally land the run or the skill, that's when you get really, really excited.
The judging panel is made up of a mix of experts with different specialties that bring in diversity, dynamism, and fairness to the contest. Who better than to explain what they're all looking for?
I am the difficulty judge, the old go big or go home. Mine is flow. It's about how the athletes link the movements together.
My category is creativity. What I'm looking for is the way the athletes put together unique and original lines.
I'm judging execution. I'm going to be looking at how well the athletes are landing stuff, how well they're executing the movements. If they're making any mistakes, I'm going to punish them like really strong.
Once the points are in and added up, an overall judge awards competitors a final score. RedBull Art of Motion has provided the stage for bright, young athletes to showcase their skills and launch their careers, including up-and-coming talent Dominic Di Tommaso.
The parkour community is one of the most special things about the sport. I mean, I grew up in very constructed, strict sports like ice skating and ballet, where it was all about being the best and cutting the other people down to achieve what you wanted. And parkour is just so much love and support.
But the bills don't pay themselves, and Di Tommaso was a garbage man by day while rising parkour superstar by night. Known for a wide skill set that includes spot-on flip precision, Dom Tomato, as he's known, is pushing the scene hard by sticking his tricks on small walls and rails. His passion and persistence paid off in 2017 when he became a Red Bull athlete, affording him the opportunity to completely focus on his true passion. From the daily grind to being signed, it really does pay off to never give up on your dreams. Freerunning and parkour can stake a valid claim to be 2 of the first truly viral sports. And the online world is where the global community keeps in touch and how the participants learn from one another.
Video content and filmmaking has been the single biggest factor in the growth of parkour, hands down. If you look at the growth of parkour, it's pretty much directly correlated with the growth of video content on the internet.
So it's not just look at my moves, look how impressive I am. You're sharing something more than that. In our videos, we try to share our lifestyle and what we value, and then everyone else does the same. And it's not just look at me, there's a conversation.
Share and share alike. We dig that. A master of this social media show and tell is Jason Paul. The German Wunderkind is not only a 2-time Red Bull Art of Motion winner, he's also a pro behind the lens, hitting the road with just enough of the right equipment and an eye for what it takes to make incredible, next-level viral videos.
Me and some friends have discovered, which is what we do is this. We put a bunch of Velcro on our laptop, and then we put Velcro on our hard drive, and you can put your hard drive onto your laptop. You put the cable here.
That is smart.
And then you can edit on the plane, on the train, on the toilet, wherever you want, and you can make videos. Making videos is kind of a big part of what we do in parkour. This is my kind of camera that I use for basic shooting, a little microphone. It's small, but you can kind of get a lot of pretty shots with it. GoPro's pretty badass for anything we do. You can put it in your mouth for POV shots. They do have a mouth mount now, but literally it's easiest for me to just film it like that.
Much like his travels and tricks, Jason's creativity, fun, and sense of adventure knows no bounds. He's been chased by ninjas over the rooftops of Japan, brought his moves to a mind-bending, multi-dimensional world, leapt for a plane long after last call, become a video game hero, and conquered an incredible ice castle. And that pretty much sums it up, right?
Pretty sweet.
So that's it. You're now ready to get out there and try freerunning or parkour for yourself. armed with the knowledge of how it all started in France in the 20th century and exploded in the 2000s. With 7 basic techniques in your back pocket to get to grips with, and plenty of obstacles, barriers, walls, and wilderness to overcome, the world is your playground.
Parkour is unlimited. It'll always be progressing because the environment is progressing.
Consider this your invite to the RedBull Art of Motion, the greatest freerunning stage in the world. Whether you want to bust your moves in competition or simply take it all in as a spectator, everybody is welcome.
The Art of Motion bring everyone from all over the world, the young generation, the old generation, and the new generation, all together. That's a meeting point, and that's one of the most beautiful places in the world.
No matter where you are, who you are, freerunning and parkour speak the same language in every country. They're more than a sport. They're a lifestyle, a community, a movement, a family.
You meet somebody and you feel so emotionally close and you connect, and then at some point you'll be like, wow, I actually don't know anything about that person. But you've been in like life or death situations literally where you're like on rooftops and pushing your fears and like very emotional things that happen to you in that moment without you realizing it. So you make these strong friendships in like a day of meeting each other.